Hi guys, today's tip is going to be on finger tricks and triggers. Now, for those of you who don't use finger tricks, I would highly recommend learning them. This is mainly because they can cut down your times from around 3 minutes to, I'd say, half in that at least, pretty quickly. The reason for that is they speed up your algorithms and just turning in general. This means that your algorithms will be learnt quicker, learnt more efficiently, and can be executed quicker. So let me try and explain. Firstly, let's get a solved cube. There we go. Now, for the top layer, the fingers you'll be using, instead of turning it the whole face using your whole hand, you'll be using these two fingers to turn it from the back. For example, to turn it to clockwise, you would use this finger and push through. To turn it anti-clockwise, you do the same, but with the other hand. Now, for the right face, you can either use your fourth finger at the bottom on this cubie and push through, or most people just use this finger and thumb to pull it round. It's usually a mixture of which finger you feel most comfortable with. The front face is used with the second finger pushing down on this cubie from the top. The other way, anti-clockwise, is done by pushing up with your thumb. It can be done with this finger pushing back if that's easier for that algorithm. The down face, that's used by pushing through from the back cubies with your four fingers, like so. And the left is the same as the right side. Now, the less common back face is simply done by turning, well, one way or the other, it depends which handed you are or which feels more comfortable, but I turn it clockwise and then treat it as though it's the right side and then turn back. This may seem slow, but a lot of algorithms don't use the back face. Now, using finger tricks to speed up your algorithms will make your times drop by a significant amount straight away anyway, but where it really comes into play is learning new algorithms and learning them from the start using finger tricks. The way they can help the algorithm is using what's called triggers. Now, triggers are a series of moves that are very common in algorithms. They're usually 4, can be 3 or less depending on the type. The most common trigger is the R, U, R prime, U prime trigger, otherwise known as the sexy move. A good way to practice triggers is by starting with a solved cube and doing the trigger until it gets it back to a solved state. Now, I'm going to go through 5 different triggers. There are more, but I think these are the 5 that come up the most and will help you the most. I'll explain how I execute them, but you can learn your own way or try these. I recommend these, obviously. Then try and incorporate them into your solves. The first one we're going to look at is R, U, R prime, U prime. Now, what I do is I start with the third finger of my right hand on the top and my thumb on the bottom. Move it clockwise. Push this round clockwise with the second finger. Move it back, keeping hold of these two cubies at all times, and then push through with this one. You're going to slide the third finger over to there in the process. And with more practice and a good cube, you can get pretty fast with this thanks to some good corner. Okay, the second one is R, U prime, R prime, U. Now, I don't use a particularly orthodox way of doing this trigger, but I find it helps in certain algorithms. In others, it might be easier just to do it with normal finger tricks. But I'll tell you how I do it anyway. I hold it this time with the third finger on the back middle cubie and the thumb on the front. Move it forward, pull round with this, slide over again but with the thumb this time, back round with the right hand and push through from the back with the index finger of this hand. Okay, so as you can see, it works almost as well. It's not quite as fast, but you can get it pretty close with some practice. The third trigger is the R prime F R F prime trigger. R prime F R F prime. This is good for inserting F2L slots in an alternative way. For example, we have this pair here that needs to go in this slot, as you can see. And if we do R prime F R F prime, it will put it in there just as fast. This is a way of, it's used in partial edge control. If you don't know what that is, I'll probably be making a video on that in this series at a later point. But basically, it can prevent you from getting the dot on the top cross. And the way I execute this is I hold the top and the bottom of the cube with the left hand third finger and thumb, and hold the right face as you normally would, with third finger there and thumb there. Pull back, push down on the front face with the second finger, push up and pull down with the second finger of the left hand. And there you have it. The fourth one I'm going to do is the R prime U2 R. This can come up quite a lot in algorithms, but it's less known as a trigger. To do this, you hold the top and bottom of the right side with your thumb at the top this time, because you're starting with an anti-clockwise motion, and bring it back. Do a double turn with the second and third fingers and push it back up with the fourth and the thumb. The fifth one is the R prime U R U prime. Very similar to the first two, but not as well known. And if you know this one as well, then you'll probably do it without realizing in certain algorithms. Now to do it, we're going to start with the third or fourth on the bottom of the right hand side and the thumb on the top. Pull it down, push from the back with the right hand index finger, push up with these two on the right side, and push through with the left hand index finger. One more I'm going to add on is one that I do for warming up. I don't know if it's in many algorithms, but personally I think it's quite fun, and like I said, it's one that's good for warming up. It's the R prime F R U prime. Now I do this by holding the fourth finger at the back, thumb on the middle cubey here, pull round, push down for the F, pull back to the top and push round with this finger. That way the two index fingers are always doing the same move, and it flows very nicely on cubes that can corner cut quite well. Alright guys, that's today's tip. I hope it's helped. Please comment if you've got any questions or queries. Please like, subscribe, and happy cubing.